Hello and welcome to Men Behind the Curtain, the podcast about everything and nothing all at once. I am Pitt.
I'm Eli. I hope y'all are doing well. So we've missed a couple of weeks because I noticed our last episode was actually the one with Will Adams, which
Yep.
honestly that was fun. I would like to have him back sometime if we can.
Yeah. And, Tube E movie is just absolutely hilarious. It's great.
It really is. I was actually trying not to spend too much time just like dissecting it scene by scene because like the hits just keep rolling in that. Like once he starts, it just does not quit, and it gets somehow more ridiculous as the movie goes on. So no, I had
Yeah.
fun with that.
Yeah. But as you said, a lot of stuff has happened since our last episode. Oh, the World Cup is going on. I have opted not to wear the team I'm supporting for this episode. I'll probably do it next week after they kick everybody's asses because they have two games this week. They're actually, as we're recording this, they're playing right now. So it's like,
I World Cup is just something I've never been interested in it. You know, whether you call it soccer or football, it's
and you're
just
dead to
never.
me. Show's over.
um, it. I'm not saying I dislike it. I just never got into it. But I'm also not going to be one of those people who pretends to care about it every time it rolls around. Like, no, I'm at least going to be consistent about it. I'll say that much. Um,
Yeah, it's sad. It only happens every 4 years.
yeah,
I mean, which is good because I absolutely hate FIFA, but I love the World Cup. So if we can actually get rid of FIFA and do the World Cup on a completely different stage, like different backing, different organization, it'd be great.
well, and so one thing I did appreciate it. So at my current job, my very first manager when I worked there, or team lead actually, she was an actual fan because she had like posters or flyers or something up for the team in Columbus. Um, I don't, I want to say crew, but I don't think that's right.
Well,
Uh,
Columbus Crew, but they're MLS, so
well, either way though. So I mean, she does at least enjoy the sport. Like she had that stuff up at her desk. That was actually part of the design she used for her team because back then everybody had a little name or theme to their teams, and she liked to use their logos. So she was at least a year-round fan. So I'll at least give her that
yeah.
much.
I mean,
Um,
Crew's all right. They're not DC United, and you know, and since they just recently came into existence a couple years ago, I'm okay with rooting for FC Cincinnati. But you know, nothing against the Crew, but I'm tired of everybody jumping on the Columbus bandwagon.
Well, you just mentioned the Cincinnati just came up recently, so maybe Columbus kind of had the Ohio market cornered, is what happened. I'm assuming.
I don't know. All I know is right now there is a World Cup team that is using their home base outside of Columbus. I'm not going to say which team because everybody's going to go flocking there, but there is a World Cup team that is basing their operations out of Columbus for the tournament.
Well, what I will say is that that is probably by far going to be the most entertaining sports spec. Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll be a more entertaining event than what else is happening this weekend, which is it's still peak Beverly Hillbilly shit, in my opinion, to have a professional fight on the lawn.
Oh, that. I thought you were talking about the celebration of Pride in DC. Two half naked men rolling around in a ring during the month of June with all the colors and everything. I thought it was just a Pride event.
Honestly, Donnie, come out. We know. We know. Like, did you see this clip right after the alleged attempt, and I say alleged because I don't believe it was real, but the one in right outside the correspondence dinner, and he starts
Oh yeah.
talking about, and he's talking about the guards, and he's talking about, oh, they're so attractive, and like, sir, why the fuck does that matter? Like,
Because they're actors.
like he always comments on that, and still to this day, my favorite one is um, when he was at a rally and he tried to like I'll kiss everyone here, men and women. Look at that guy. I'll kiss him, and the whole crowd goes quiet because they clock what he just said. So he tries to backpedal a little bit. It's like I'll kiss him. Maybe not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay. Nah, sir, you said what you said.
You
We're
know,
not.
here's the thing. I have many friends that are part of the community and whatnot. I don't think a gay man would have him.
If
I don't know many straight women that would have him without getting paid or a green card.
there was a comedian some years ago. I wish I could remember who this was. It was probably like some Comedy Central special or something like that. But he was talking about could he could live with having a sugar mama, but what he would have to do is take the will and mount it right over the bed, so that when he starts losing his motivation, he's like, all right, we can get through this. So I feel like that's what would have to happen. But
I, I don't
so
even want to think about it. That's an image I do not need burned in my head.
oh, nobody does. And again, it comes back to what I have been saying for a decade now, that I really can't tell if Melania is a hostage or an accomplice. And I think it kind of depends on how much he's pissed her off that day, because she don't like him. She very clearly don't like him.
No,
uh,
I don't even think it. Honestly, I don't even think his kids like him. They just support him so they can remain in the will and get whatever money he does have when he finally shifts himself to death and gives himself an embolism live on TV.
allegedly, and I say allegedly because I have not looked into this and I can't validate it. But allegedly, Don Jr. had a falling out with him a long time ago, and he was actually a more progressive person, politically speaking. And then he kind of came back into the fold because he needed to be taken care of financially.
Yeah,
Um,
well, he's still a fucking tool, so I don't care.
Well, it's funny because you can see him doing shit like I saw a picture like he's gumming on fucking camera, but he's trying to be sly about it because I'm guessing he didn't want Daddy to catch him. Is what happened. But you could see him fucking doing it. Um, but I guess we can use that as a little bit of a springboard. So we have our since we're talking politics, we have our cunt of the week, and also I ran into a funny, which both involve the same fucking guy, which is Pete Hegseth. Um, so, oh, I just noticed the hat for the lounge there. I just noticed the logo on it. So,
Yep.
uh, as a non-cigar enthusiast, I will actually co-sign that. B&G Cigar Lounge is a nice place, and I'm not even a cigar smoker like that. So, but
I
anyway,
am.
well, you are, and you also work there, so it's not to say that your opinion is irrelevant, but you could argue that it's biased. But I'm not even a cigar smoker, and I enjoy going there. Like it's a nice place. Um, but yeah, so our cunt of the week and our funny this week both goes to Pete Hegseth. First, for if y'all have not heard about it in the last 2 weeks, they removed 180 religions from the DoD because, and it was the dumbest thing. Like, did you hear about this? I know I dropped the article in
Oh
the
yeah,
Discord.
yeah. I heard about it. And basically what they did is they eliminated everything that wasn't Christianity.
But did you see that Mormonism is separate from Christianity?
Yes.
I found that funny. I don't think that atheism is actually included in that. It's more no religion, which is the same as agnostic. So it feels like it's their way of trying to pretend that atheism isn't a thing. But he said something about like oh, we have all these different ones. Some of them almost never get used, and he acted like like there was a financial component to keeping them. Which I'm sorry, I don't fucking believe that. I would have to see the books. I don't buy that for one fucking second.
I think the only financial component is to it is they have to create a space for worship or something like that. I think that might be the only financial component tied to it. Now if you happen to be the same religion I am, you don't need a fucking shrine or an altar or whatnot. Go to the fucking woods.
Honestly, even Christianity, you don't need a church. Like it literally says in black and white in print that wherever two people gather in my name, I will be there, two or more. So, like, honestly, you don't even really need a fucking church if we want to be for real, for real. But
Yeah, that's fair.
so that was just dumb. But moving on, the funny with this. So I know like a year or some ago, there was a video of him like trying to do pull ups and fucking failing hilariously, which is really weird for the guy who really wants the warrior ethos. But so they had one. This tweet just got posted on the 11th, and I'm still calling it Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. You believe in dead naming, so do I. So um but yeah, he was with the Marines, I think it was, and he was trying to do bench presses. Now it's a regular bar. He had 245 pieces on the end, so 90 pounds or 130 if it's a 45-pound bar. That's it. That's all he's doing. And he was supposed to be doing like 140 reps. Now, before I say this, I want to acknowledge yes, I am not the most physically fit person on the planet. 44 reps at that, I might struggle with it. However, I am also not the guy pushing for, the shit that he pushes for. This dude gets like 20 reps in, and you can see his legs going. Like, sir, like, you're not even benching that much fucking weight. Not really. Like, in the scope, if you're a gym rat, 135 pounds is nothing. And like his legs are starting to tense up and shit. And then like you can see he's like using his torso to try to push it up. It's like, God, this is embarrassing.
Well, it's like every time I worked out, I used to do a workout called 100 hundreds. So everything was 100 pounds and you did 100 reps.
Okay. That would whoop my ass, but that's the point. This is
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, if you were able to knock out 40 and you weren't able to get any more, you stopped, you rested, and then you busted out how many you could. As long as you did 100, that's the whole point of that workout. You just have to hit 100. So by the time you get like 96 and you still got four more to go, if you can only do one, you do one. Now you're at 97 and you do one more. So and that's the whole point of it.
so that kind of plays into just going off topic for a second. When I used to wrestle and everything in high school, my coach used to tell us that your body can do 90% more than what your brain thinks it can. Now, I don't know exactly where he pulled those numbers from, but I have at least seen that it might be an exaggeration, but it is not an untrue statement at the same time. So, yeah, I know that it's mostly mental.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. My thing is you got the dumb old fucking frat boy, trying to show off his manliness. Why don't you do something really manly and actually, yeah, just do something manly.
Well, and actually, he wasn't, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong about this. I don't think he was even in a combat position when he was in the
No, he's behind
military.
a fucking desk.
Yeah, like, dude, chill. Like, this is so fucking fake.
Yeah.
Um, but just to kind of go along that thread a little bit, so I'm starting to wonder if Gandalf the White has returned to us because it seems like the tide has begun to turn. Because first off, a judge halted this weaponization fund. It, or at the very least, they paused it. I think they're still doing some investigations on it. But then, not only are they took his name off of the Performing Arts Center, the Kennedy Memorial Performing Arts Center, which also That's really fucking weird because it's John F. Kennedy Memorial, meaning he's dead already. And then Trump tried to slap his name right next to it, which that just doesn't work. But anyway, now they have to restore like national park signs and other things that he has tried to rename out of spite, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying the tide has turned, but like we are getting some W's slipping through here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now if we can just get his fucking picture off the passports.
oh God, I didn't know about that. I did not know about that one.
Yeah. Just like he's got his own dollar coming out too.
I've heard about that, and I really don't. I heard that he's trying to, but I don't know if there's any motion on that. And quite frankly, when everybody is talking about affordability and all these other things, is a $250 bill really worth our time? Like, is it worth our resources? Honestly, but I mean, granted, they don't give a shit about that. But I think that honestly, that's probably yeah, we can probably that. I think that might be enough of politics for this week because it's just a fucking shit show. But
Yep.
so moving on, just talking about some of the entertainment side of things. Um, so real quick, so they haven't made an announcement for the third Spider Verse movie. Um, it's not a big announcement, but they've added two new heroes to its list of protagonists. And the article I'm looking at is honestly a bit of a misnomer. It's not that they're adding those heroes, it's that these two heroes are becoming a bigger part of the team, which one is Spider Punk, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, which honestly, I'm fucking for it. He was an awesome character. And
Yeah.
I don't know the character or the voice actor's name, but the Indian Spider-Man. Like when they were in
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
like he was a fun character. So I am all for having him come back. I think that that's awesome. Um, did you know that the evil quote unquote Miles Prowler is not the same voice actor?
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the main one, Shamik Moore, is not voicing the alternate version of Miles, which I found that to be a really interesting choice. Um, I understand what they're probably trying to do is they're probably using it to help differentiate Miles 1 from Miles 2,
Yeah.
but I would have thought that the main actor could just change his voice just a little bit. I mean, hey, I'm not the movie maker here, so I'm speculating, but I thought that that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, that really is because I mean, it's technically it's technically Miles, but as a non-good version of Miles. So
Yeah, I thought that that was interesting, and I'm very eager to see how this plays out. Um,
speaking of the Spider Verse, Spider Noir is on Prime, uh, with everybody's favorite Nicolas Cage.
um, I one thing I had a slight gripe about. Apparently, the Fire Stick that I was using, which I just bought earlier this year, did not automatically prompt me if I wanted to watch it in color or black and white. So it just went ahead and played it in color, which it's noir. It is meant to be viewed in black and white. However, you said you're like halfway through. Have you watched it like it both, or which way have you been watching it?
Right now, just color.
So it does look really good in black and white if you do decide to switch it over. However, his friend Robbie, I'm trying to remember the actor's name. The last name is Moore, but I can't remember his first name. His wardrobe in color is fucking beautiful. I do want to acknowledge that. Like, and it's almost criminal. Like, you made this a black and white. Well, you made this with the intention to be watched in black and white, but then you give him a wardrobe that deserves to be seen in full color. And that just felt really disingenuous to me.
Yeah,
But
so I'm like halfway through it, and it's actually not bad. It really isn't. Uh, so the one thing I do like, and I'll eventually go back and watch it in the black and white. But the one thing I do like about color is on Spider Noir's costume, you can actually see, like the weavings, the stitchings of, the outfit, and it is absolutely, and I love, and some of it isn't even perfect, and it kind of represents like a spider's web in some ways and stuff like that, and I absolutely love that detail. So props to the costume design department.
And you know what? I have to admit that I was wrong with this one because so first of all, Nicolas Cage, he voices Spider Noir in the Spider-Verse movies and he's great for it. He has a great voice for Spider Noir. No, when they announced the show, I thought it was going to be a spin-off and that it was also going to be animated. So when they said it was live action, I was surprised. And I'm like, I don't know about this. Like only because of Nicolas Cage's age and the in top tier physical condition, this would still be a concern. But he is pulling it off, and granted, yes, I know there's stunt doubles, but he's making this work, and it's been going really well. I think. Um, one of
And
my favorite.
what I was going to say is like one of the things is, because you have the over exaggerated mannerisms of Nicolas Cage, and I really haven't gotten much of the over exaggeration in the mannerisms. There's a couple of the looks that are like, okay, there's Nick Cage, I know, but it works for Ben Riley. It works for that version of Spider-Man.
Have you gotten to the scene? I don't remember what episode it's in. I think he was pretending to be like a cop or something, and he's putting on the really hammy, like 1920s, almost like mobster.
Where he's
You
going
see,
like in the hospitals. I'm like, hey,
yeah,
such and such with the union.
yes. And so I loved that scene of when he starts doing that accent because I'm like, that's Nicolas fucking Cage. Like
Yeah.
I love when he gets to go over the top. Um, Honestly, one of the best over the top performances I've seen him in was recently, anyway. Probably as Dracula in Renfield.
I have yet to see that.
So I have not watched it in full. I've seen a few scenes of it. I can see it is intended to be more of a dark comedy and everything. One of my favorite moments in the movie is so they play into the lore about vampires. You need to invite them in. Well, so Nicolas Cage, Renfield, he goes into his apartment, house, whatever it is, and Dracula's just sitting there at the table. He's like, how the fuck did that happen? He looks over at his door. There's a welcome mat with fucking track marks right across it. He's like, ah, shit. So apparently that worked as a loophole. Uh, I thought that was fucking hilarious. But again, it's also Nicolas Cage letting him overact, and with that movie, Nicholas Holt, which I don't think I've seen a bad performance out of Holt like so far. Like Mad Max, X-Men. We talked about him as Lex Luthor, and of course Renfield. And there's a few other ones that I know he's done, and I just can't name off the top of my head. I don't think I have seen a bad performance out of him yet.
No, and if you absolutely love Nicholas Hoult, you need to watch The Menu.
I think my wife has watched that, but I haven't.
It's
Um,
it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but it completely threw me for a loop. Um, especially with Ray Fiennes and stuff like that. And which who's always phenomenal, but it was one of those. I don't want to call it horror because it really wasn't a horror movie, but it had that horror aspect to it. But Nicholas Hoult in it, the way he played the role that was given to it was just absolutely phenomenal.
yeah, and like I said, the one thing that I will say, because I know that you weren't exactly the biggest fan of the 2025 Superman movie, but I will say Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I love the fact that his motivation is nothing more than being the biggest fucking hater in existence.
That was for me. That was the shine. That was the bright moments of the latest Superman movie. Was Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Other than that, oh, and that and Alan Tudyk. I mean, you can't go wrong with Alan Tudyk doing anything. But other than that, I mean, nothing against Corn Sweet, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, just was not a fan of that movie. It was lacking.
Yeah, and they're already predicting Supergirl is going to bomb, which I don't think that that's fair. Um, First off, Millie Alcock as Supergirl, honestly, I like her for the role. I think she's a good cast. Um, and we get Lobo. We're getting fucking Jason Momoa as Lobo. And also, he has said he would be willing to do a solo movie on one condition is that it has to be rated R.
Well, can you really make Lobo anything else? It's kind of like saying, "Hey, we're gonna do a Deadpool movie, but we're gonna make it PG."
I mean, if you're going to do a PG Deadpool movie, that's basically just Spider Man.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's like, I'll appear in other people's movies and everything, like Supergirl, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last time that we see him as Lobo. But yeah, he said like, I if I'm going to do a solo movie, it has to be rated R. Now, what I will say with that is that if we're going to do a rated R project, I think he is with the right studio per se. Now we are starting to get some mature content on the Marvel side. Um, Daredevil, we talked about this before. Daredevil and Punisher is way more explicit under the Disney banner than it ever was under the Netflix banner, which is not a complaint, but it is a like that's surprising.
yeah. Well, there's also talk that Disney is going to revive several of the Netflix characters from the Marvel arc with Daredevil. So, like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, which we already know make an appearance in Daredevil Born Again. So we might see another an Iron Fist coming in at some point and whatnot. Maybe do a Disney Defenders. You know,
I I will say this much though: if they bring back Iron Fist and they do not bring back um, Jessica Henwick, I believe is the actress's name, Colleen Wing. If Colleen does not come back with Iron Fist, I don't fucking want it because she was a great character. Um, and I'm surprised that they haven't found a way to keep her because she was a great actress. Um, Also, in hindsight, I thought of this before they had released like all of the casting and everything for the Street Fighter movie. Jessica Henwick would have been a great Chun Li. Um,
yeah,
she might have needed to do more squats to get those thick thighs, but it's
quite possibly. But I happen to see the previews for Street Fighter because it played before Mandalorian and Grogu.
oh, you saw that?
Yeah. Wait till it comes out on streaming. It could have been done as a fucking special on Disney or something like that.
That
Um,
tracks.
However, back to Street Fighter, don't fucking care. Don't even want to bother with it. I do not need to see Cody Rhodes with a blonde fucking flat top pompadour. And it was just I'm watching it and I'm like, just let it die. Just let it die. Let it go away. Just make it disappear.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say about this is that movies are starting to understand what is needed for some of these adaptations. And what I mean by that, something like Street Fighter, I don't think I don't think a serious adaptation would have worked. I think that would have been very poorly received. Hell, look at Guile's hair. Like, is Cody Rhodes an over the top exaggeration of Guile's hair? Yeah, it is. But you also can't really adapt that properly any fucking way. So you may as well swing for the fences. Do they swing?
Dolph Lundgren is Ivan Drago in Rocky Four. That was the hair.
I know what wasn't was Jean Claude Van Damme, but we're not going to. I would rather just pretend that movie didn't happen.
What? I mean, come on, with that and Double Trouble.
You mean Double Dragon? That
Yeah, or whatever.
oh god, Double Dragon was so bad. Um, but one thing I was going to mention. So last week, since we didn't have an episode, I did a rant about like Mortal Kombat, the '95 movie, and I couldn't fit everything I wanted to say in a 3 minute video, and I keep it 3 minutes because I want it to be a YouTube short. But one thing they did understand about this is that it has like this much plot and this much fight, so they understood this is what audiences came to see. So the way the movie goes, like they just move in a fight for fight to fight to fight. um and although some of them didn't work, because like Scorpion was beating Johnny's ass, there's no reason Johnny should have won that fight. um but
There's
they
no
moved
reason
it.
Johnny should win any fight.
And also about that though, well, actually, the funny thing, did you know that Johnny Cage is actually based on Van Damme?
Yes.
I found that hilarious, and I love that they actually even introduced a Jean Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage in the latest Mortal Kombat
Oh
game.
my God.
Yeah, he's got. I think it might have been Bloodsport. I'm trying to remember which one it was. He's got like the short shorts and everything, and he's fighting basically barefoot. Um,
Well, that would have been two movies. It'd been Bloodsport and what was the other one that was just like Bloodsport,
it was like
but
Best of the
different
Best or
title.
something.
Well, that was the song, but that was actually from Karate Kid. You're the best.
I thought he had a movie called Best of the Best.
He may have. All I know is there was a movie that was like that was it was exactly what he was in. It was exactly like Bloodsport, but
You
it
know,
wasn't titled Bloodsport. But and the thing is he was fighting Bella Young in both movies. And if there anybody who doesn't know, Bella Young is a martial arts master. You know,
kickboxer.
yeah, that's it.
And those, yeah. Bola Young, yeah, he's a dude in Bloodsport. You break my record, now I break you. That dude, yeah. That's that's funny though, because like, yeah, Bloodsport came out in '88, and then Kickboxer came out in '89. Like, bro, you made the same fucking movie a year apart.
Yeah, and I can't remember which one it is where he's drunk and he's doing the little dancing and he's like, and the ladies, and then all of a sudden he gets in a fight in the bar. And I don't remember which one it is, but it's one of those two.
I think that was Kickboxer, because I've seen it, but I've seen Bloodsport more because it was like a favorite of my dad's. So because of that, I ended up watching more of it. I don't think that was in Bloodsport. If y'all are watching or listening, feel free to correct me on that one. I don't think it was Bloodsport.
I don't know.
Um,
I mean, to me, it was just like watching Iron Eagle, which was just a B-rated version of Top Gun. So it's like,
you know what was funny? So, uh, unreal. So, because you mentioned Top Gun, apparently Pluto is now showing Top Gun Maverick, which I just that feels so
that's
that
not right. It's just not right.
that was my thought too. Of like, this is way too new to be on Pluto. Like, if y'all are not familiar with it for any reason, Pluto is a completely free app. Which, that being said, if you don't have it downloaded, you should. That was actually how I watched Fallen a few months ago, even though now it's on
Okay.
Netflix. Um, I think Pluto is what I used to watch Last Action Hero, which Last Action Hero on Pluto, that makes sense. That movie's got to be like 30 years old by now.
Flash Gordon on Pluto makes sense.
Yeah. But Top Gun Maverick, that was a little bit surprising. I'm like, really? Why? Like, it's not bombing, it's doing pretty damn well. And I think Paramount owns it, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, Paramount does. So, but you had mentioned the 1995 version. And that had Christopher Lambert in it, correct?
yes.
So, speaking of Christopher Lambert, it has been confirmed that he is going to show up in the Highlander film.
Ooh, Did they say what his role is?
They did not say what his role is, but they have confirmed Christopher Lambert will be in the Highlander film.
Oh, that is fucking awesome. I love that. Um, I'd be willing to bet Cavill probably fought for that
Oh, probably, without a doubt.
because, like,
Cavill's one of those. He's one of those people that actually stays true, to canon and video games and the older movies, wanting to keep them as accurate as he possibly can, which is the whole reason we had why he left The Witcher and stuff like that.
Yeah, which in the case of The Witcher, I know that was something that I am aware of it, but having not read the books, having not played the games, I don't know the difference, and I think a majority of audiences are not going to know spot the differences. But I can understand that. Like he was talking about people, like some of the showrunners just openly shitting on the source material. Which, if that's how you feel, why are you here? That's
Yeah.
like that doesn't make sense. Um, so, but yeah, that and yeah, Christopher Lambert was one of those things. Like as it was weird, but he kind of weirdly worked for Raiden back then because like his dry sense of humor and everything. Even though like what?
Our production crew sneezing in the background.
Okay. I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I thought maybe your picture froze and like you had coughed or something. I'm like, God damn. Well, all
No,
right. I'm assuming that's Kaz, so I'll just say hi, Kaz. um,
he says hi. He says hi.
um, but yeah, so I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, like I said, the '95 one, they did understand where what people came to see, which was the actual fights. Now, some of the special effects back then were weird. Like when Liu Kang does his bicycle kick, my son was watching that and he just fucking busted out laughing because it's very clear that Robin Shao just had like wires hooked up to him because like it's like he just took flight and like that works in a video game, but it doesn't work in real life.
No, I mean we can try. I don't recommend it, but
No. Yeah, like the CGI was aged horribly with that, but it's a fun movie, but it's not a good movie. And I still need to see the new one, but at this point, I'll just wait till it hits streaming because
yeah. Well, with streaming, we've got a lot of new stuff coming up too. So next Sunday, the 21st, season 3 of House of the Dragon drops on HBO Max or HBO or Max or uh, whatever they fucking call it now. Um, July 3rd, I believe it's July 3rd on Apple TV. You got the 3rd season of Silo that's going to be dropping, which, if you haven't seen Silo, great fucking show. A lot of twists, suspense, and stuff like that. And I can't wait till they break open more of the backstory and stuff like that. It is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Then, about 3 weeks after that, on July 23rd, the long awaited 4th season of Strange New Worlds.
And I'm finally caught up on that one. So when season 4 drops, I am absolutely ready for it. Um,
I just wonder how high Pike's hair is going to get in season 4.
and also it's not been as well received, but I've been looking forward to it. In about 11 days, we get season 2 for the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um,
Yes.
I I enjoyed season 1. I do acknowledge that they made a lot of changes from the animated one. Some of them are changes I don't like, but I don't think that it was a bad show. And I'm looking forward to season 2, especially Toph. Which did you watch Avatar at all?
Oh yeah, I loved Avatar.
Okay, so you know Toph then. I am so excited to have Toph introduced. I love her character.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, we have all of these. Now, about House of the Dragon, I have a problem with HBO and Warner Brothers, and it is that they do a shit job of marketing. Because I honestly keep forgetting that House of the Dragon is coming, and I keep not knowing when the fucking premiere date is going to be because I feel like they don't advertise it for shit. Um, I feel like they're relying too much on their established fan base and word of mouth. I feel like is what they're doing, which it's a cheap way to do it, but I don't think it's a smart way to do it.
Well, honestly, I think the way that they have been doing it is they've been just trying to flash it on social media as much as possible. It's like, you'll get it on the TikTok, you'll get it on Facebook Reels, you'll get it, Vines and stuff like that. But the thing is that's pretty much where their marketing has been geared towards is, those quick bursts of people scrolling through their feed. And it works for some people, but when I see the same fucking ad like 6 or 7 fucking times in like 5 minutes, I'm like, no, 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 fuck it. And then I go to the point, irrelevant or, too often or whatever. And it just gets to a point where, and which makes me happen to miss a lot of stuff because there might be something new. And it's like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I know I was getting that for a lot when I'm. This is more when I was actually going to the Y because when I would go to the Y, I put on Spotify, I put on like one of my workout mixes and everything, and so I would get a lot of the same commercials, and it got to the point that I'm literally like I would just do anything to report that commercial because I'm hearing it for the 84th fucking time. Like I was so tired of it. Now, as far as them bombing social media, bombing is probably a bad word, but with them just like oversaturating social media with some of their marketing, I'm not getting it. So like, and I openly enjoy those like House of the Dragon. Um, Honestly, House of the Dragon has been a great fucking show. Much better than what I expected it to be, and so I'm very annoyed that they're not showing me the material because like those are ads I kind of want to watch. I don't want to see more fucking product placement that I didn't ask for.
Yeah. Well, my issue, particularly with Spotify, is I have no interest in fucking Moto Casino whatsoever. Stop playing the fucking Moto Casino ads every time I listen to Valmont. It's like, fuck. I
I
mean, I swear to God, I had every fucking commercial during Valmont during this last episode drop. That episode 7 dropped on June 1st. So go check it out on all your streaming services. But all I got was fucking Root Song Funeral Home and fucking Moto Casino.
Yeah. No, actually you made me think the ad that I was actually like basically reporting at this point, they kept playing the shit out of like Buffalo Wild Wings for no fucking I'm like B Dubs has spent so much money in this marketing campaign because Spotify was just showing the shit out of it or playing it. I was so fucking annoyed. But yes, so yeah, that was episode 7 that just
Yes.
came out.
And episode 8 will drop in about 2 weeks, July
I
1st.
Yeah, I need to renew my Patreon membership with him. Because I know the one that he gifted me last year ran out last month, is in fact. So, and it's $12. I can do it. I just haven't.
Yeah, mine was pretty much the same. Mine ran out too, so it's like, well, shit.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to get on there, if nothing else, because it's I like seeing when some of the engagement he gets on there and some of the comments and everything whenever a new episode drops. So although I don't say a whole lot myself with those, just simply because like I don't know what to say. Like being part of the show, like and then commenting that it came out good or something that feels like almost masturbatory a little bit. It's just,
Well, I said listen to see if I've missed anything.
that's fair. Um,
But in all fairness, I listened to the thing about a dozen times before I even upload it.
yeah, you know what? I can actually understand that because like with the recordings that I've been doing lately, the audiobook that I've been listening to, I listen to it so fucking much because I'm looking for any time that I miss a word or I say the wrong word. What I found that I do a lot is that I'll say something plural when it should have been singular or vice versa. I do that a lot, apparently. but but yeah, so obviously you guys can go ahead and check that out. Plus, as soon as I get done recording this, which should happen this week, I can get back into putting some time to record another short because we've had an idea for a short for at least a month or two now. I've been meaning to write it, and I just have not taken the time to do so.
I just haven't had the time.
Well, and I'm finding that if I was an actual writer, I'm finding that I would be the type of writer that I guess a planner, because I know, like, we already know what we want the end punchline joke to be. So I'm basically working backwards from there. Like, how do I build up to that moment? Like, so that's literally the only moment that I have in my head is how the episode is going to end, or the short, I should say. Um,
But it's still an episode. No.
you know, um, but actually, no, I had something before we get out of here. So I had kind of a catastrophe that we can do.
All right.
Is TV or movies, either one. Can you name like one of your favorite monologues? Probably from a villain, but it doesn't have to be.
Oh, can I name one of my favorite monologues? You may test that assumption at your earliest convenience.
Picard had such good dialogue.
That
um,
when he said that, I was like, and it was, it was like, God, I think it was like 91, 92 when that line was written. And I absolutely loved it. And now in today's day and age, we have, fuck around to find out. And that's basically all Picard was saying. It's to the Klingon High Councils. Fuck
yeah,
around and find out. So yes, probably my all-time favorite monologue out of any television show or movie that I have. And holy shit, that bird is low.
yeah, we have a few that like to be around here. We have turkey vultures over here,
Yeah, that's
which
what we got. That's what just was about literally 15 feet off the ground, about 20 feet away from
Jesus Christ.
me. Ugly motherfucker.
They are. The first time that I saw a turkey vulture, like, I see the neck and it has, basically the featherless skin and all that, but it's fucking massive. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I think it was my daughter. She told me that turkey vultures were a thing, and I'm like, now I don't know where the fuck they roost. Like, I don't know where they're coming
Oh,
from.
I can answer that. I actually had to look this up the other day because this was the question me and the production team actually had. They roost basically I like on the ground or in caves or in like hollowed out burrows in a tree and stuff like that.
That makes me wonder if they're in a neighbor's tree, like right down here, because
Yeah, as long as there's enough space where they can get into because they got a wingspan up to 6 feet.
they're fucking massive. Um, Well, so neighbor here, like during a thunderstorm, about a month or so ago, they had a tree fall in their front yard, and as I'm driving past and I look, the tree is fucking hollow inside. So I'm like,
Yeah,
well, no wonder the goddamn branch fell.
yeah, it's probably where they're roosting.
But one of my favorite monologues, and if I had to really think and rank these, it might not be the top one, but it would definitely be top five, if not top three. Would have to go to Agent Smith. um, when he tells Morpheus that he classifies us as a virus.
Yes,
That was a good fucking monologue.
and
And
accurate.
that's the thing that hurts, is like, he's not incorrect. Like, he's a villain and you're supposed to hate him, but he's not really wrong. um Although another one I actually just popped into my head, this was funny. Maybe you've heard about this story. I don't know. I just learned about this. So there's a creator on TikTok and on Instagram, the Hey Man. Um, he likes to do some of these little videos. He'll act like he's leaving a voicemail from some franchise. He's done like 6 Lord of the Rings ones. Hilarious. Uh, every now and again, he'll do one where he's talking to himself in his car. And so the voice actor for Brain from Animaniacs, um, he liked to do a lot of Orson Welles stuff. And there, apparently he did this thing whenever there was any amount of dead air in the recording booth, he would just recite the dialogue from like an old commercial that he had filmed, or not filmed, but he did a voiceover for, like growing peas in a field or some shit like that. um so the writers wrote this into the show. I don't know why. Maybe they thought it was funny. Maybe they thought once they did it, he would stop doing it. But so I'll put it in the description. If you go on YouTube and you just search Animaniacs, yes, always. This is word for word the riffing that he would do in the studio whenever there was downtime. And when you realize that it's him, now the voice actor for Pinky was also doing it, and they had another extra who was part of it. Um, but apparently he used to just do this all the time. And I don't know if it was a vocal stim for him or what the fuck he was doing, but the back and forth, like he's actually ripping on the script that well, this is stupid. Like it's actually hilarious. So I guess maybe that counts as a monologue, but I'll drop that in the description here
Well,
too.
you had just mentioned Rob Paulson, who does the voice for Pinky. Um, have you seen Rob Paulson and Seth Green do their take on the the prior to the face off between Anakin and Obi-Wan,
Yes.
where it's like, you are the chosen one. No, you turned her against me.
Yes. Oh god, yes, I did see that. That shit had me fucking dying.
Narf.
Oh yeah. Oh did that actor do Pinky and the Brain?
No, Rob Paulson did Pinky and Yakko,
Okay,
but
okay, okay.
he also did Doctor Scratch and Sniff.
Okay, gotcha. But no, I have seen that one. And I could just picture that. Like you can almost see like because of course Seth Green he does the voice for Chris, but he does it so seamlessly. Like I can almost just picture him with his fucking finger up his nose. You turned her against me.
Do you know he came across that voice as doing a very bad Buffalo Bob impersonation?
I didn't, but that doesn't surprise me. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and I'm like, I find it really hard to.
Buffalo Bill or whatever he was called. But
You know what? Now I'm gonna have to listen to those and see if I can find the connection there. But no, it's funny because I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and I mentioned that like it's really difficult to come up with an original voice. But if I pick a voice that I can't do, but I get as close to it as I can, that actually does work. Which is actually how I came up with the voice for Frank in Valmont. But
well, I mean, honestly, for me, the majority of mine are just my natural voice in a different, tonality or accent, except for Asmodeus. That love the character, I really do, because he is like he is like he is the Valmont universe's Negan. You know,
kinda, yeah.
and that voice, man, it kills me every time I do it. And the last couple episodes, I've had, couple scenes where I had two or three characters that I'm voicing in the same scene, and it's like, holy hell! If you can pick them out, we'll give you a prize. Be a congratulations, but that's about it. But yeah, if you could pick out the three voices I did for one scene, go ahead.
I'm gonna have to send you a video. So because you didn't watch Supernatural, I know that you didn't like it, so I know that you wouldn't have seen this. They have their own Asmodeus in that show in some of the later seasons. And he does kind of have like the Southern gentleman charm about him and everything. The version that you did is like it's very much like that. There's more gravel, or I think maybe vocal fry might be the right term for it. There's a lot more in the voice that you're doing with that, and it's a lot more sinister. But it's parallel thinking is basically what happened. Because I know that you don't watch it, and I know that you never were. I know that you didn't draw any inspiration from it since you didn't enjoy the show. But
Yeah,
it's so funny to me because they're so alike. Um, and actually, I said the same thing about Adele's Lucifer. Her
yeah.
Adele reminds me very much of Sandman with
Gwendolyn
Chris.
Christie.
I couldn't think of her name. Gwendolyn Christie. Her Lucifer, which I fucking loved, by the way. Like Adele reminded me a lot of her, but it might have just been the feminine voice is why I'm drawing those analogies. That all right, that was just Eddie Murphy right there.
which is when Asmodeus laughs. I mean, that's basically how I got to get into it, is doing like
It's funny you say that because that's what I'm doing right now. So the next book that I'm working on, the voice that I'm using is my approximation of Trevor Belmont from Castlevania, which is voiced by Richard Armitage, and that's basically what I do. Like that's how I get into that voice, as I say a part of like Trevor Belmont's dialogue. So like I do that, and then I go into her. Well, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not recording it yet, but yeah. Um, but if y'all, I will say, just I'll plug it before we go here. Um, so she actually has a presence on TikTok and Instagram, Ravenna Vale. I think she's actually doing a character reveal for my character sometime this week, so I'm going to be looking for that because I already sent her the recording. I'm just waiting on her to put it together. But I think that's about enough. We can go ahead and try to get out of here. Where the hell is my mouse? Because okay, I genuinely don't know where the hell my mouse is. There we go. So yeah, like I said, so this one actually has a tendency to go to sleep if I don't use it for a while. So I was trying to use the mouse pad on the laptop, but I couldn't see it there either. But I got it now. But yeah, so again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I haven't said this in a while, but if anybody listening, or if y'all think of anything for a catastrophe, or just anything that you want us to talk about, even if we don't know about it, I might look it up so we can talk about it. Feel free. But other than that, I'll drop some of those videos we were talking about in the comments section or the description, and go look at Valmont. Like we're halfway through with season 2, and god damn it, it's getting good.
oh yeah,
But other than that, thank you for watching and listening, and we will see you next Tuesday.
be you.